Thank you, so for the new then. Second phase of libraries consultation, a decision needs to be made on the parish council's response. Whether the parish council accepts the proposed open class system or considers increasing the precept. John.
Thank you, Chair. In view of the fact that all the previous parish council meetings when the libraries were on the agenda, I was unable to speak due to predetermination of the decisions being taken on libraries which involved my portfolio of SGC property and involved the possible closure and disposal of some libraries. As the first decision has now been taken, my property portfolio is no longer involved, so I can now make a statement. When the first proposals were on the table prior to the first consultation, which was to cut hours and reduce the budget by £650,000, as South Gloucestershire Council has to make severe savings of some £22 million to balance its budget, I was inclined to be concerned about our Hanham Library, which Heather and myself have supported in many ways and have championed it for many years, always looking for ways to improve the service. And it was very difficult to then have to consider making decisions to change that situation, as the reduction in the library's budget would impact upon our residents, and at that time I strongly considered proposing that Hanham Parish Councils should consider precepting to pay towards maybe longer open hours, but always mindful that it would need a consultation with the residents, as only a small proportion of our residents do in fact use the library. However, as a result of the first consultation, South Gloucestershire Council have listened to the responses and are now proposing 3 major changes in this second consultation. The savings target will be reduced from 650,000 to 500,000 within a budget of 2.6 million, enabling staff opening hours to be reduced by a smaller amount than proposed in the consultation phase 1. The service will introduce an open access technology to enable libraries to open without staff, extending open hours by nearly 100% on current hours through a one-off investment in the equipment required. The mobile library service will be replaced with community centre-based libraries across South Gloucestershire run by volunteer groups. Now this seems to be an excellent compromise to me. Instead of cutting open hours, the council now propose to extend the hours by almost 100% and are proposing to reduce the cost by 150,000. What a success! Surely the Save Library campaigns must be delighted with their success. Traditionally, parish and town councils have not been the provider of library services, and in my opinion, this should now not become a provider. Secondly, to use public money, such as a precept, that should be used to provide a service to the residents as a whole. This is clearly not the case here, as only a minority of our residents are library users. The library will now be able to be accessed for many more hours than ever before, and here I can speak with some authority, as I was a director of a company involved in similar access type systems to the proposed open access system the council are proposing to use. I was also present at a demonstration of a mock-up of the open access system at the 8th Outdoor Centre, and I can say with conviction that the system will do all that is required of it to allow safe access and egress to our libraries when not manned. The equipment will provide answers to all the situations that have been put forward by opposers of the concept. This type of equipment is in use in many libraries both in the UK and other countries, and is in daily use without any problem. Chair, I therefore propose that the Council supports the South Gloucestershire recommendation to install open access technology to make library facilities available from 08:30 to 19:30, 7 days a week, while introducing community centre libraries in place of the mobile library and keeping the Chipping Sovereign Library open with local support.
I'll second that, Jonathan.
Thank you, John. Open discussion.
Sorry, John, could you just repeat the last bit about the mobile libraries?
The mobile library, it says while introducing community centre libraries in place of mobile library and
Okay, yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
Any comment?
Chair, what are you expecting from the council tonight?
John has just proposed what you've heard,
Yeah.
and I'm now giving everybody an opportunity to speak on it. And when you've had an opportunity to speak on it, therefore, I would propose to put that motion before the council.
What? This little slip?
Yes, I mean the position would be that if we decide to accept the proposed open class system, then that's our decision taken. If we decide not to accept the proposed open class system, then we look at the question of considering increasing the precept. Fine.
Is there not an option for both?
How do you mean?
Accepting the open plan and precepting additional hours?
Why would you need to do that?
So that you've got more staffed hours there,
Well,
which is
I-
what a lot of people want.
I would still, I wouldn't accept that onto my proposal. I would in fact object, and in fact I would make another statement towards that process.
I'm just asking, Chair, why they're exclusive and not can't be both. I don't understand.
Which is
Of
why.
course, if you've got one, you wouldn't need the other.
I suppose if you approve something,
Why can't we have this 11 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then a precept to increase staff and hours so there's more staff there?
Well, I think they're separate issues. This is the issue on the table. The other issue that you're bringing up is one that we're going to discuss at the next resources committee as a precept.
Thank you.
Okay, so can I just double check what we're listening to, and I think I heard it right, because I think my sister's got the same as what we're proposing where she lives in Canada with 3,000 people, and they live 2 hours from the nearest shop. It's open certain times of the day. You have a sort of swipe card system to get in and out from 8 till so-and-so time, and you can hire things out, bring it back and do more sort of less automated, so you can do get in, get out, so it's more access for all on a Saturday and Sunday, yeah? Is that right?
It's almost 100% more hours than
Then they
Yeah,
are.
that's true,
You know,
yeah.
my sister's got that system in Canada, with her children, with their 3,000 people, and it works really well. So I personally think that's brilliant, because that means on a Sunday I can go up with my children. I can't go up at the moment as it is, because they're very busy. So I like that system, and it works with her. And she's been there 10 years, and it works really well. So I back that.
And we've all had white paper on the precept implications.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
are there any other councillors who want to speak on the motion?
But the consultation is not completed yet, surely.
Doesn't need to be for us to consider this.
I thought they were going to Parliament next, very shortly, and putting some comments to Parliament. Oh, this is the final say, is it, tonight?
This is the second phase of the consultation, and the Safe Hanham Library Group have asked us to consider their request to consider precepting staffed hours. And the other option is to accept, if we don't wish to do that, then do we wish to accept the open access?
No.
Chair, can I just confirm, if we, for instance, take this vote tonight and it's confirmed that we will take the Open Plus option tonight, will that be done? So we would have that system and there wouldn't be anything the Safe Hanham Library Group could do. It would just be taken as read that we would take the Open Plus system. So there's no other discussion on the library, it would just be that we would accept it as a parish council.
Can I answer that, Jay?
I'm sorry.
Can I answer that in simple terms? It's got nothing to do with that. This is a consultation, so the fact whether the equipment goes in or not is something that will be taken by Heather wearing another hat in another place. This parish council, all they're doing is making their consultation
But I mean, for us, this will be the end of the discussion for us,
about that.
with
but
regards
not-
to any
But not
negotiation.
about no, because I've just said to Simon that the resources committee will discuss and debate whether this council should precept for
Right.
extra hours. That's a separate issue. This is purely on the consultation
Okay.
Now, I don't know, I kept reading that, you, one or the other. If you put the top one, that's accepted as open plus. If you put the other one, you precept. No, I agree with councillor. I think tonight it's a final decision.
Yes, that's what I'm asking. If
Seems like it to me.
Yeah, so if we all go for A, there's no need for B.
No.
Am I right in am I right in saying
That's what I
that?
think, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Is that what we're saying?
I think if the council make a resolution
That's
tonight
how I
to
read
go
it.
with
Yeah.
option A, and not go with option B, then that's the policy of the council, and we wouldn't need to revisit that.
What about when we're referring to resources, the rest of
Yeah.
it?
We've already
We've
reported
already said that.
Well, the resources committee looks at the question of the budget and the precept and whether we take stuff from the reserves or whether we go for the precept for the whole of the amount that is needed in the budget. My reading of this was that the South Gloucestershire proposals say there's a capital expenditure in introducing the Open Plus system. Part of the package is that the hours when there are staff there is reduced, but the other part is that the opening hours are extended by the Open Plus system, and that can be met within a total expenditure of £500,000. If that is accepted, which is what I think John is proposing, then my reading of that is that we accept the 500,000 coming from South Gloucester and buying what is set out in the proposal, and that we're then satisfied with that. So I would say that my own feeling on it would be that would be our final say on that matter.
Yeah.
Not necessarily forever, but certainly as far as this round of arrangements are made.
That's how I read it.
Does anybody else wish to speak?
Well, Chair, I'd just like to make one observation here in B. Hanham Abbots Parish Council considers. Considers quite an interesting word, really, isn't it? Considers increasing, so we can consider it. We can either go ahead with it or turn it down. It's not very complex.
There would be the question about who else would be contributing to the Hanham Library. So I don't think we would for a minute be saying if we turn down the acceptance of the South Gloucestershire plan and then went to B, we would be looking to provide £27,000 by precept, but that we might be considering precepting to contribute to £27,000 along with Hanham Parish Council perhaps and other parish councils who may do the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's a word in there, isn't it? That it's not thrown and kept in the long grass. It could be something that could be looked at in future, as you quite rightly say.
Well, if we don't go for A and we do go for B, then we will be resolving that we will consider increasing the precept, and that will be a debate for another occasion.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are you ready to vote?
Can I ask whether or not you're proposing a secret ballot on this vote, or in a public meeting, are you showing to your representatives here how each individual is voting? You've obviously checked your legal situation.
My intention was for it to be a secret ballot, but I've been looking at my rules, and it says on voting, it says members must vote by show of hands unless they have provided otherwise by standing order. In our standing orders, it says nothing about voting, so I think it has to be by show of hands.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sounds fair.
Clark, did you mention something about Facebook? If we did not vote privately, something about they could find themselves on Twitter or Facebook, is that correct? What did you have in mind there?
I have noticed
No, I've asked a question.
comments made by,
Oh, yeah,
made,
yeah.
not any of the individuals here in this room, but I have noted that people have put derogatory comments about certain councils on
Yeah.
Facebook with regards to the
Yeah,
library campaign. So
Yeah.
that was my reasoning for,
Yeah.
for wanting to do a secret ballot, was to protect people.
I congratulate you on thinking along those lines, thank you. Yeah.
Claire, there is a new law about people not being very pleasant on Facebook. It came out about a week ago, and if people do make comments about certain councillors making a decision they don't like, that can be taken out of the booth, because there was a law out last week about things like that.
That's useful to know, thank you.
Right, that's brand new.
Okay.
Right, so we will vote by a show of hands, and I will ask that those who wish to accept to vote for the option that Hanham Abbots Parish Council accepts the proposed Open Plus system should raise one hand. Nine. Those against?
Well, have you suggested the second option yet?
I'm sorry?
Have you suggested the second option?
I'm dealing with the first one first.
Yeah,
And at
okay.
the moment, 9 people have voted in favour,
Yeah.
and 1 person has voted against. And I don't know whether you want to put your hand up.
Well, I'm going to vote for the second option.
They voted
Option
for the
B.
second option.
Do you want to vote against the first one then? Which effectively...
Well, I'm not. If I'm going to vote for option B, I don't need to object to option A.
All right, we'll take it you're not going to vote now. So I think that's 9 votes in favour of
No, that's not fair, Councillor.
Sorry?
What it actually says is, I wish to vote for the following option.
Yeah, but we're not
You
using
have the
this
choice of one.
B.
I don't think we're using that piece of
It's the
paper.
same wording that's
Well-
on the agenda.
I mean, effectively, if you vote for A,
Yeah.
you don't need B.
Of course you do.
You might be
Because you know the majority then is 9 to 6 or 9 to 3 or 9 to 1.
Well, what I've done at the moment is I've asked for those who agree with option A to indicate, and 9 have indicated yes, and 1 so far has indicated no. And at that stage, we've started this discussion. Does anybody else wish to vote no? No? All right, if you don't, you don't. That's right. So it's 9 to 1. If it's 9 to 1...
abstentions, Chair?
You've declared an interest, haven't you?
I will be abstaining from the vote.
Yeah. Are there any other abstentions?
I'm not extending, I'm voting for B.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to B for what it's worth.
No, don't talk to him about that, Councillor. It is worth what is written down here and what he is entitled to do.
But he
I'm
was
not-
asked to
I'm
vote
not
and he
de-
didn't
I'm
put his
not
hand
demeaning
up.
it, but
They asked you to vote and you didn't put your
No,
hand up.
I'm not voting for A. I'm not voting for A.
No, he asked B and you didn't put
No,
your
I
hand
didn't, I
up.
didn't.
all right, let's vote on B.
B, yeah, okay, B.
Right, those in favour of B, please indicate. 1. Those against B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
7, okay.
Right, hands
Right,
up
put his
again.
hands up again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So that's 1 for and 8
Extensions, Chair?
abstentions. 2.
Because I thought it was being voted in resources.
So I declare
Yeah,
A carried
fair enough.
and B lost.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
May I ask that the abstentions are recorded, Chair?
Can you record the head of extension on A?
Yeah.
Chair, can I just
Right, I'd
ask,
like to speak.
I just understand that as councillors, having been on a How to Be a Better Councillor course with several of my colleagues here, that it is our duty to vote abstentions unless you've got an interest. I.e. Heather, I understand, it is our duty to vote. We cannot sit on the fence. And that is our duty. I went to that course, Chrissy, you were at that course, Simon was at that course. and it clearly stated that we as councillors, it's our duty to vote.
An abstention is a vote as
That's
well.
a legal duty.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So I have voted by abstaining.
Yes.
It's not. If you look in the rule book, I think you will find it's your
General election,
duty
you vote or
to
you
vote.
don't. No,
You have to vote. If
No, not the
you've
general
been
election. You don't
elected as
wish
a
to.
councillor, it is your
consider that.
job to have an opinion.
Right, we can look at that. It's not going to make any difference to the
No.
vote that's been taken, but we can look at that for the future.
I admire him for saying no. Extent.
For clarity, for the public gallery, what on item B, I thought Councillor Goddard's suggestion that this matter was going to be given to the Resources Committee to vote on.
That's
You weren't going to vote on it.
Exactly.
Now you have vote on it, but you vote on it, to, as Paul Hughes has said, to consider. So what actually have you voted for on B?
Well, I understand that we have voted not to consider increasing the precept.
B was defeated, and therefore
So you have voted not to consider.
we haven't voted to consider.
I'm glad I'm recording this conversation because it's all been voice recorded.
That's all right. Well,